Go. Welcome to Overwatch and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. Today we're going to be starting with something a little bit different. So yesterday I had a very good time. I actually really enjoyed myself playing in some six stacks. These are all people on this left side that I know. And they are a mixture of interesting people. For example, hey look, it's Ryan. Hey look, that's actually Miska. But there's a very odd mix in this team, in this six stack that's actually happening, which is that we have some players like myself, like Ryan, like Miska, who are very experienced and sort of very, that we played Overwatch for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and we have some very specific instincts. Although Ryan is sort of moving to support now, he used to play a lot of off-tank. These days he's moving more towards support, so he's still kind of relearning those instincts as well. And we played as a six stack for the first time yesterday, and it's kind of interesting seeing how people play who have like what I would call like refined instincts, who have like this very clear idea of, oh man, I know what I need to do at any given moment. Like when something happens, I know what I need to do. And those instincts might be right or wrong, but you know and you're confident in those decisions you're making. What you do afterwards in VOD review and what we do now is we question those decisions, we question those choices if they were right, if they were wrong. So we're going to start looking at this game on Numbani because a lot went wrong on this game on Numbani. We won most of our games. I will say that. We won most of them, but some of them like we lost just because it felt like people were kind of everywhere. It felt like people weren't making decisions confidently, and we're going to talk about some of those decisions, some of those choices, and see how it resolves. Otherwise, yeah, we're setting up on the defense. There's generally like a lot of debate about who should be playing what should be playing what. What I will say towards this team comp that we're looking at, we've got a double sniper with Orisa Hog. It kind of works, it kind of doesn't. The big thing, and like I've been nagging Ryan and like whoever else is playing support to someone has to learn Zen, right? If we're going to play in this six stack, somebody has to learn Zen. This is important if you have a six stack, if you play in a team. A couple of people do, apparently, so hey, people like playing in teams. Have a Zenyatta player. You really need one. The reason why is Zen has the best ultimate in the game, bar none. This isn't just me saying like, hey, yeah, no, Zen, like I'm a Zen player, Zen is the best. Woo! This is me saying, no, you need Zen. There will be many times where you need Zen, you need Transcendence, you need that ultimate. You either need Zen or Lucio, and Zen is just better on defense in most cases than Lucio is. So Zen is good. Learn Zen. But we're starting out with the Mercy instead because we have this double sniper. We can maybe get a lot of damage out of it. Let's roll the tape and see how it goes. And as far as Hog Rita goes, like, I'm fine with, I think this is good by Miska at the moment, just sort of setting us up on this front line. We can get a bit of spam damage in. We can see where people are going or what people are doing. Iron can play kind of forward. I'm going to be playing fairly floaty. I'm Talon on the Hanzo at the moment. And then sort of a lot of weird things happen. Like straight away, a lot of strange things happen in this game. So the soldier ends up in this really weird position. And we can't really challenge it. The Sombra also just like face plants into the team. Really not a problem. Ends up eating an arrow from me. Oh, what a shot. What a... That don't look right. Let's actually just go first person. So yeah, I'm just trying to hold this. Like, I'm expecting a normal push, right? You normally expect like 6 people to come out there. That doesn't end up happening. Instead, we've got a soldier behind us. We've got a Zen and a Junkrat over here. And this is where I want to talk about those instincts, because this is where those instincts really make a difference. So we see the soldier like run back here somewhere. And I just assume that he's sort of back there. And I'm honestly fine sending the Roadhog to go deal with that. Roadhog versus soldier 1v1. The Roadhog should win that. Where is Soldier? F12. He's down here. Okay, I just couldn't see him. He's sort of going on this mad flank. Like, he's basically out of the fight at this point. Right? He's just not involved. Winston's engaged. And to me, this is where you sort of got to understand, like, what is the core of the team? What is the core part of the team? The core of this team, sort of the people who will be playing together, is actually this group. Right? These 4 people. And if you got a Winston jumping in and the core of the team all turns and deals with this Winston, it's fine. Like, you can easily handle that. Widowmaker's a little bit more free-floating. Roadhog in this team comp is going to be a little bit more free-floating to be able to challenge different areas and pick off people who do run off on their own. So we can just sort of turn around and hopefully kill this Winston. You see I circle back. Winston goes down. We see the soldier underneath. Just a Zen out in the middle of nowhere. This is one of these awkward moments. Like, this is something that I need to be wary of, and something I need to change, which is that quite often, you're going to see this throughout this, is that I end up in this middle area quite a lot just sort of on my own. I need to reset faster to, like, high ground or something. Because if a soldier's back here and a Zen's in main, what are they going to do? Nothing. And we don't have, like, a team that's good at running them down. Like, we can't just go chasing after them. The only person who can kind of do it is the Roadhog. So, like, you know, people are shouting at this soldier. I'm just sort of peeking down here to see what's happening. But honestly, we can just sort of stabilize like this. And if they just want to mess around, they can. You see, I'm, like, confused about what I want to do. I think at this point, Iron sort of calls out, yeah, I need help with the Sombra, but he pushes her out. It's all fine. I can hear the Junkrat. Now we reset. And again, like, they're all split. And I think we just need to reset and play relatively normal at this point. Like, I can hear the footsteps. I'm like, what the hell? I call it out. Beautiful hook. Absolutely beautiful hook. Would you prefer Miska to hold the other high ground? I'm kind of fine with him being there. It gives protection to Dribs on the Ana, and Ana can then just sort of freely heal. It's very difficult to sort of dislodge this corner. What the hell slept me? Oh, they have an Ana now. And then everything sort of just goes to shit, like, straight away. Like, we're now, like, losing this fight somehow. So, the big thing here is Drib's fucked up. This is, like, again, this sort of instincts thing. So, we have Winston Ana. I'm going to back up. My hotkey isn't saved. For some reason, it isn't transferred over from the other profile. Just deal with the beeping. It's driving me crazy as well. Handle it. Just handle it. Spectate player. Where is it? Replay back. Bosh. Replay forward. Bosh. Boom. Okay. We have, you know, these three people, these three happy chaps. And a Winston is going to jump into it. So the Sombra's annoying. Widowmaker dies. And Winston jumps in. And Dribs fucking panics. I can tell you, you have both cooldowns active and we're panicking. We aren't firing a sleep dart. We aren't doing it. There's no need for this panic. There is no need for this level of panic. If you just, like, do you think it's safer back here? Yeah, do you think it's safe back here? Is this where safety is? When no one else can help or see you? Just stay next to Miska. Orisa putting a gun into Winston's face and just holding left mouse button kills Winston dead in seconds. Between Nade, Orisa doing that, and Sleep Dart to stun, you are completely safe. This is where, like, again, this is where that instinct stuff comes in. This is me as an experienced Ana player going, I know I can survive that. Like, Winston jumping on me, I know I can survive it for long enough that the Orisa can then kill the Winston, if necessary. Worst case, you just nano the Orisa, and the Winston will just explode straight away. So you're actually very, very safe where you are, and it's just sort of relying on that safety, because there's no way you can run from him, right? You can't just run away from him. He's not going to let you go. You can't outpace him. So safety is with the Orisa. So, let's see. Widowmaker's dead. I'm stuck in the center, I think, trying to help with the situation up here to try and get rid of the barrier as quickly as possible. Shameful, shameful Hanzo play happening. That's why I hate this hero. I do manage to get the Ana at least. And then there's suddenly a Reaper, and I think this Reaper is actually like death for our team. Just because Iron is just so vulnerable to it. And once the Ana is dead, there's just sort of no coming back. Like, we need that healing to be able to survive any of this. We can have Iron as like a free-floating, or we can have the Roadhog. Let's just actually use the Roadhog. We can have the Roadhog free-floating around, but you need the Ana alive to keep the Roadhog alive. Like, once the Ana dies, Roadhog is suddenly way more vulnerable, especially that there's a Sombra on the map. That will sort of stop working. I think at this point we just mostly lost this fight. Like, we almost get it back, but yeah, that Reaper. Like, that Reaper alone could probably kill everything here. Is the other team a 6 echo as well? No, unbelievably. This is, yeah, where I asked Ryan, like, can you get there? Can you contest? It's like, basically, do I dragon? I just dragon over the point. It actually works out. And being honest, I'm actually kind of okay with how that retake went, as weird as it sounds. We got the Transcendence, we got the Riptire, like their big threats are now gone. The only big threat left that is kind of scary. Oh, and Dribs is DC'd as well. We're down a person. Lovely. Don't think it would have mattered too much, to be honest. Might have mattered here. Oh, and they nano boost now. That's honestly great. Like, I think at this point, Miska doesn't even use Fortify. Miska just dies. Because, honestly, that's fine. And then they do something fucking weird. This freaked me out quite a lot, actually. Which is that they play super far forward. I'm like, okay, well, Sombra is really far forward. That's strange. The Zenyatta's like on his own super far forward. This is something that drove me nuts. People have a habit, especially in the 6-stack that I play with, of these guys. This Winston's jumped on the backline and people panic. People panic. It's a Winston. He's not going to kill you very quickly, but it's like, Winston's behind, Winston's behind, Winston's behind. It's like, no, monkey, like monkey behind, kill monkey. Like the reaction should be kill monkey. The reaction shouldn't be, oh my god, it's a Winston, ah, flip tables, ah, panic. It's a Winston. Like, he's not going to kill a Mercy very quickly. We all turn, we all deal with it. And like the Reaper's here, and it's just, yeah, step by step. And then there's the Junkrat here as well. This is where it got really confusing. It's like, what the fuck is the Junkrat doing here? You can see my shameful hands though. Ugh, ugh, I hate this hero. Like, I was so confused at this precise moment. I was so lost. It's like, what are they doing? But I want to draw attention to, okay, this is a bit nuts. I want to draw attention to like how strong this duo is of Hog, Ana. Like, part of why these heroes are in meta at the moment is because Ana has always been very, very good with Hog. Always been very good with Hog. You can keep a lot alive, and I think Iron should have just played like under here. Like, he's not going to go and contest the payload much on his own. He might be able to just sort of stall it as it gets closer, but if he just stays with the Ana and waits for the Mercy to come back, there's a good chance that we can actually do a retake on this. Once he starts getting like kind of far out, it's where Dribs has to adapt. I want to see how Dribs adapted. First and foremost, triage, son, triage. I need healing there.
I'm feeling young again.
Let's be critical. Why are we shooting Junkrat when there's a dying Mercy? Why are we doing that? These things. We should be looking at me here. You are in a safe enough space to scope up here as well. Like, one of the hard parts of Ana is knowing like when to scope and when you can't scope. Once that Junkrat is dead, nothing can touch you back here. You can bring the scope up and just land some shots. The hard part here, and like this is more like general skill set, is like anticipating what this Roto's going to do. So as he goes round, yeah, this is a problem. Like, we need to anticipate that he's going to do this and like go with him. I know this, like, he's technically doing a mistake, but one of those. Why are we shooting Sombra? One of the strongest parts of Ana is like you can keep people alive through those mistakes. Why aren't we healing the soldier? Dribs! Dribs! Hog was purple. Hog was purple like now. Like, we're not moving to go with the Hog. Or setting ourselves up with the Hog. Now he's purple. I just kind of want to draw attention to this though, because it is like an important thing of understanding like the DPS relationship, DPS and healing relationships between various heroes. Which is that Sombra is not good at killing people. Sombra really isn't good at killing people. So you got a Soldier 76 with a Sombra shooting at him and a Junkrat shooting at him. And a Zen. Like, there's a lot of stuff shooting at him, but if this dart that you've just fired here hits him now, he survives a little bit longer. And between Mercy and Ana healing one guy, he will survive everything. Like, there's not enough burst here to actually kill through it. Like, unless the Zen, like, gets a headshot. But you can heal so much. I think I dragged because I heard, like, oh, we're going to contest. we weren't going to contest. At this point, I am tilted. I'm not really tilted. I'm more confused at like what the hell the enemy team is doing. It's like throwing me off because they're just doing random shit and getting away with it. Like there's just a Zen. I think people are talking about like, oh, there's a Junkrat behind as well. Where is their Junkrat? Their Junkrat was nutty. No, he's just on high ground. So I think, yeah, we're all searching for this Junkrat that doesn't actually exist. This is where we should be making plans, and I don't think we were making good plans. We just should be setting up like, okay, well, next fight, Nanovisor is probably going to be the ticket, so we just got to play around 76. Make sure that Soul 76 is alive and in good stead. Don't think we have to really worry about is the Transcendence. But I think what ends up happening is people start getting this nutty idea, I think you can see it happening a little bit here, that they need to contest this high ground a lot, and I don't think that's the case. Yeah, so Iron goes up here. He doesn't kill the trap. That's unfortunate. He also should have just cleared this trap, but it's worth mentioning. Yeah, like this is unnecessary, and like this is a good demonstration of like why this sort of thing is completely unnecessary. If you're playing like Hog Risa, you can play like very tanky and durable. Like you can force them to engage into you and just sit and be awkward and annoying. We don't need to do this roaming stuff, having the Roadhog roaming around and stuff like that, because this happens. On occasions, you might just find the Junkrat there on his own and kill him, and it'll feel great. But there will be so many like times when you will try and do this, and stuff like this will happen where, oh, the Reaper is there and I lose. So it's just more like playing that Orisa Hog combo. Meanwhile, on the front line, there's the Sombra doing nuts things. Zen eventually goes down. Why aren't the health bars displaying? It's annoying me. And like, even if they do come out of this high ground area, all we do is we hold this corner. Like, that's all you need to do. If they take that, like, the Reaper's not going to do anything from the high ground. The Junkrat's going to be annoying, but nothing Halt Hog won't fix. It's honestly not that big of a deal if we just give up a little bit of space. I think this is classic staggering. So yeah, Roadhog's dead. So Nano Sombra. Okay, good. Just do it instantly. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. No, oh, for God's sake, this client. There we go. Okay, good. Are running some sort of cycle comp. They're running, I think, like, I'm tilted, so I'm going to play DPS, and we only have one tank, which we should have just abused by playing tanky and stodgy. Because, like, the amount of times that happens where I just shoot the Zen in the fucking face is absurd.
Get into position.
But it feels like there's a bunch of people like trying to do things that are unusual or just trying to like make plays. This is where I think I'm literally calling like play near side, so I can shoot stuff with the Bastion. But a big part of this is also, like I said at the start, which is three of these players are experienced, three of these players are not, and it creates like a very interesting dynamic of you got some people who just don't know, like they don't know how to look at a team comp and go, okay, I need to play in this style, and like a big part of this is sort of what we're trying to learn. And when you're running like anything Hog Risa, it's generally playing fairly stodgy around the Hog Risa. And sort of, they can engage into you, but in general you can kind of shrug it off. And especially if they only have one tank, their Winston is so vulnerable to everything.
Ready for
I think here I come up with the bad idea of, well, I can just try Genji. Because part of why we're doing this as well is also we can just play heroes and learn heroes. My Genji is not very good. Needs a lot of work. Just your playstyle to the enemy comp is a key to success. That's just your playstyle to your comp as well. Like, you've got to adapt. So I think the plan here is, like, we have Nanoblade as a win condition. We have Ryan Zarya to sort of just push the front. And the idea is just like, take high ground, poke them down with the McCree, get Nanoblade, win. I'm going to say now, my Genji, not great. The Sombra is trying to be fancy. Because he's like running around spamming voice lines. Don't do that. It literally just hurts you. And I think like these are the moments where it needs like where learning can happen. Which is if a Winston is doing this and he has no off tank, he dies here. Even with an Ana and a Zen healing him, he can absolutely 100% die here. And this is partially also, though, why I do prefer like the Zen to the Lucio. It makes it way easier to get kills and stuff like that. I know the Sombra is scary, though. So the Lucio can kind of help against that. I actually want to see what Duba does. Oh, frig me. What the hell? He explodes. He explodes. That's not good.
I need a doctor.
I think this is a moment where, like, I think Miska just needs to take a swing on the Ryan and then just barrier up. But this is also, I think, something that was highlighted afterwards, which is just like, do not stay in the small room. The small room is death. You know, you've got to get out of this. And I think Miska gets a bit greedy. You can see that, like, he's almost dead, but keeping the McCree alive, especially currently, is going to be way more important. I think I hear the shout for the Winston, so I go help. Oh, this was so tilting. No! 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 It's sort of trust in your teammates. Like, trust in the McCree to be able to deal with that Winston. We've got a better idea of what the enemy team's doing. Like, I'm spy checking now. We don't really have anything good for spy checking, which is kind of annoying. Something interesting happens here, which is I pop up here, and like the Winston comes to contest me. So what I'm hoping to see down here is very aggressive movement. Yeah, which kind of happens. This is a little bit nuts. This is kind of one of the issues I noticed that Duba had. Works out, sort of. But I think Duba does this a lot, partially just, I think, due to inexperience with Overwatch. Which is that he tends to do things like just try and play on his own. You know, it's more like an RDM sort of situation. Have you killed this Winston? Ah, oh, so close. So close. I don't think he's going to fall off. He'll just like run off on his own and fight stuff. When, honestly, I think he can just stay with the team here and it will be fine. Like, I just back away from the monkey. Ryan gets caught in a trap again. Ryan's gone to challenge the Winston for some reason. This isn't bad. This is quite nice. The idea behind stuff like this is that the two supports together, the Winston will never kill you. As long as you look after each other, the Winston can never do anything about you. But I don't think it was necessary for Ryan to like go and challenge that. If anything, he should have maybe been speed boosting the McCree or just staying with the Reinhardt. At this point, I think like Miska knows that if he stays down here, nothing can really deal with him. Also, the McCree dies this time. Oh, that was so satisfying. And I think I realize it as well, which is why I just go and like focus on helping Miska. And then we just go for cleanup. Because, like, it's an interesting thing, right? Miska's realized, quite rightly, and out of all of us, Miska or PagChomp is the highest SR out of all of us. Miska is, like, I think about 4k. I'm, like, on Genji, I'm, like, 3k. Generally on my, like, Sombra, which I generally play. Hey, thank you, Spilo. Very much appreciated. Generally on my Sombra, it's, like, about 3.4. On my support roles, it's about 3.6. But Miska's realized very quickly, hey, yeah, I can just stay on the point here, and they can't do anything about it. It's just Reinhardt on the point. They have to drop down to dislodge us, and if we play around that, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Duma manages to get wrestle control of the high ground away, which is okay. Turns around, deals with Winston. I think I lived really cool, like Monkey can die. Good stuff. And so this is where I think this round like gets away from us pretty badly. I'm just ranging forward kind of loosely. As ends up there, I don't want to contest him without deflect, so I just wait. And I think we honestly don't need to do too much more. Iron is asleep. Like, this happens so often on Numbani, and it's sort of the enemy team did it and got away with it last round, but honestly, like, I really dislike that kind of playstyle, especially on ladder. Like, we could do it if we were really coordinated, but I don't think we have that level. Where we could just all try and like run forward into them and like have 5 people do that, in which case it might actually be better for Dribs to stay back, although Dribs could play from here and just support there. And the Lucio just runs us in, but because we have Reinhardt and McCree, like we can't contest this shield on the high ground. You see, like we can't fight this. We can't do anything about this stuff because it's just how do we get to it? We can't do it easily. Reinhardt would have to go like all the way around, all the way up here to do anything about it. So in which case, I think like you just hold this corner, shoot from there. I poke around a little bit, but otherwise they cannot stop us pushing the payload to like here. Then there will be a fight. Then we'll need to do something. So that's just bad out of me. Like, even this shouldn't be panic-worthy. And this is what I mean by Duba's, like, just roaming around quite often, doing random things. It's very unnecessary. Like, the Nano Winston, he can't get support and chase people back here. So if the entire team that's still alive just backs up, the Winston's completely isolated. The only issue is the Riptire, and the guy that can deal with the Riptire is currently AWOL. He's just roamed off, and he's having an adventure. And he gets one. I think at this point, we're just like, get out, get out, get out. And I think I go and even just try and, yeah, I play tank Genji, which is always a fun thing to do. And this is just where I'm like, be careful. Just to dissuade the Sombra. Okay, good sleep. When was the nano used? Okay, yeah, we nano the Reinhardt. Don't panic, Nano. There are times when it is good to Nano, and there are times when it is bad to Nano. Let's go through this. Wisdom lands. They Nano him. Think about it this way, right? If it's just these ults that have been used, just they use Nano Boosts, only Nano Boosts, what happens next? Like, ideally in this situation, what is the next move that wins us this game? Well, we have Lucio, so we can move. They can't move as fast as us. Half their team is like all the way back here, doing goddamn nothing. If these 5 people just back away, what's the Winston gonna do? Absolutely goddamn nothing. There's no need to panic in this situation. Like, the Reinhardt's perfectly safe. Ana can out-heal Nano Winston quite easily on a tank, especially with another healer in support. Everything is fine at this precise moment. The issue with nanoing the Rhine here is what's he going to do with that nano? Like, what does he hit? What does he do? Where does he go with this? He can swing at the Winston, but the Winston can just jump away. The Winston's got his own healers. There might be enough DPS if you like follow those around the corner for the McCree to kill him, but it's still not going to be effective. So it's one of those moments of like, don't panic, basically. Like, this situation is very under control. And you've sort of got to realize that, okay, well, I don't need to actually do anything more than just heal at this point. And again, that's an experience thing and a knowledge thing of like, well, I know that I can keep this Reinhardt alive, therefore I'm just going to do that. Like, even this isn't that scary, because, yeah, without that Riptire, you would have just survived that. Like, the heal grenade plus the Lucio would have been enough to survive the monkey. He needs other people helping him with DPS. Because I think at this moment I expected a nano blade, I expected a nano boost, and then I realized, oh shit, he doesn't have it. Sleep that's great. And I fucked that up really badly as well. Like, that was just bad by me. I'm so annoyed that he's not dead. Okay, I have no fucking idea what happened in this team fight, because I'm busy over here, like, fighting these two. What the hell went on here? So far, so good. I die, but it's very winnable.
That's not right.
Why is Ryan contesting the McCree? He just needs to stay with the team. Like, this happened a lot, and it was very frustrating. Which is, like, someone would peek out from, like, a flank, and one person would, like, peel to go and deal with it, and it's kind of unnecessary. Like, we could just hold the payload. They need to come down and contest us. They need to do something about us. They need to dislodge us. And even if we lose this fight, which is very likely, we'd still get a lot of progress on the payload. Now Iron's gone and dealt with it. Duba's going to be alone. Getting progress. Reinforcements coming in. Dribs is playing DPS. Oh, there we go. Nice. That was good. That was better. That looks more like an honor.
That was the sound of sight.
Yeah, I'm just looking for ult charge. And I think Miska calls now like, oh yeah, we can just push up. So I want to see what happens, because as you can see, I'm like quite far forward. And this is, again, this is a good example of like what I mean. Duba's up here. He doesn't need to be. Like, there's no actual advantage to being up here at this point. And I think that the team has like this thing about high ground and high ground control, but this is meaningless at this moment. Just having the McCree behind the Reinhardt and shooting at things is going to be incredibly effective against the enemy team. Because, yeah, now Duba gets focused, has to drop down, can barely help him. Okay, now he's with the team. Good. And now he's going off again. And it's like completely not needed. At least people are going to peel for him. Now Miska's alone.
It's Hanu.
And it's kind of just this urge to just run off when playing heroes that aren't good at running off. I think I'm just looking for a little bit of ult charge or some kind of opportunity here. They use nano, we die, it's fine, we have 5 ults. I much prefer using nano as a survival tool. Yes, I use that quite a lot. I think, again, we're going to see like a habit that I really find annoying. Which is like people leaving spawn and moving super far forward. For some reason. And like, yeah, this is another... okay, this fight, if I remember... if this is a fight I'm thinking of, this one's scrappy as hell. Or I think they just die. We just back out. Like, we can go that way, but if we are going that way, everyone has to go that way. You have to check for traps, for the love of Christ. And it's like, there's no need for us, like, that's just going to leave us vulnerable to Junkrat more than anything. Junkrat and Winston thrive when we're doing that. Again, Duba, super far forward. Does get a kill, but he's going to die for it. So that's just time off the clock, which is only a benefit for them. Like, we need Duba alive. And again, that's just an experience thing of like knowing what you can do, what you can challenge, and at these moments, there's no point in getting kills. There's no benefit to it. This is the fight I think I remember. Miska calls up the trap. Most people caught with this. Riptide comes through. At this point, I'm like, oh, we can just lose this fight. But then I see the grab go in. And you're about to see, like, tragedy occur. So I'm like, shit, there's people in that. Oh. I get the blade out and she hacks me. And I'm just like, well, that sucked. I think I think I should have just been calling like just wipe, just wipe, just wipe, just die, just die, just die. Like if the enemy team commits resources as big as Transcendence and EMP in the same fight, and you don't think you can win, you just lose that fight. You know, you just let it go. Those are big resources for them to commit.
Keep the payload in motion.
This is also something I noticed quite a lot. So I think I call, yeah, just push under. Just push under, go to point. When you are doing this, you cannot split this far. Like, even this far is too far. Because you can see what's happening already. Like, there are moments when you are just completely isolated. You have to be in the team. And I know it doesn't sound super effective, but if you think about, like, your goal at this moment, and this is why I call this translating, because your goal is, like, I zoom out. Okay, that's in the way. Let's put that there. Spectate overlay. Your goal at this moment is to get from here, which is safe, because you're around a corner, to under here, which is relatively safe. Everything from this point to this point, all you are trying to do is get from here to here as safely and quickly as possible. Safety trumps speed, so safely is the important thing. You are at your safest when you are literally like here, inside the team. Because then if someone is going to pick off someone who's a straggler, it's going to be like the McCree who you can heal. So if they do try and kill the McCree, well, you just pump heal darts into him, you can see that he's being shot at, and you just heal him, and it's fine. Like, notice where I am, right? And this is more like a DPS positioning where I'm literally nuzzled up to Miska. But I think I'm also very conservative of trying to not go past his shield. So if we go back to this. Right, I'm with Miska. I don't like run ahead of him. I stay with him so he can put his barrier up, and I'm still going to be kind of behind it. I think people call out stuff's happening behind us. And honestly, like, this is fine. Like, them dropping behind us with no tank, you can see why it's fine. Like, this is why I've been pushing for, like, this playstyle. I get bubbled off, but gonna be okay. I sacrifice myself to try and keep that Deadeye up and running. This exact moment here, this is a good demonstration of the power of, like, 222. So fighting. People are dying. Then I want you to notice that something weird happens. The Winston dies, Ryan's almost dead, but hey, look who's here to save him. Drips is here to save him. And we have this core of 222. And all these people who are alive, they're actually going to have a really hard time clearing this out. Like, if these guys just all stick together, I swap to Reaper at this point because I realize that their Winston's just face planting into us over and over again, so I can farm him. Genji's not really working that great. They can't beat this. As long as they stay in line of sight, they're perfectly fine. Notice that, oh, there's a Zen on the high ground. Not dying. Iron's got a bit mental. This is, again, like the Ana thing is like, you must play with Ana. You must play in Ana's line of sight. I will say I think Drips just needs to like be moving forward a little bit earlier.
Watching your back.
Like, this needs to be forward momentum. This especially is, don't do this. The Lucio is slightly injured. He's fine. He'll heal himself. Don't worry about that. Positioning's more important, because now you can play from this corner. I've talked about this a lot. I'll talk about it again, because it's always worth mentioning. Sort of the Ana L shape. This is a great demonstration of it. We've got a good pathway here. Like this, if you imagine like the path is like this. Okay, and we're just interested in these areas. If Ana is here, that's not a great color for that. If Ana is here, and the team is here, the team can play here completely safely and completely fine. Ana is completely safe and completely fine, and it's all good. If the team wants to move forward, the Ana needs to rotate, or well, not even rotate, just translate from here to here, and then the team can play up to here, completely safe. And as the team moves, as the Ana, like, need to be almost like a counterweight to the team. You need to like move from point to point. Hey, look, what's up, boy? Beautiful shadow. And this is why I love playing Reaper, because people are bad at playing against Reapers. This really confused the shit out of us. Because you see me like panic as well. Well, not even panic, I just Wraithform to try and survive it. I'm like, what the hell? You want to see where that Deadeye was? You want to see where that Deadeye was? He did it in spawn to try and psych us out. The git. I will say, just as like, again, I know it sounds like I'm being harsh on Dribs, but it's because I know Ana best, I know kind of what I need to do. We're in too close here. Ana is at her strongest sort of back here. It's very awkward when people run in front of the payload, but it should be like the DPS's and the tank's realization that they can't just like run in front of the payload and expect to be safe. Reinhardt can kind of do it because he's big enough. But yeah, we want to just play back here, healing everyone on the payload. That's the safest thing to do. You don't need to worry about getting up here. Lucio's a bit of a weird one. And yeah, round 2 complete.
Score 3-3. Initiating match.
You hate Dribs, we get it, I know. I'm so mean, I'm so cruel. So let's see. So yeah, this time we opt for something. So basically, pretty much every single time I played Sombra in these games, we won. And I think part of that is because when I play Sombra, I'm very vocal, and like I'll make a lot of calls and make a lot of choices. Also, people are just bad at playing against Sombra. She enables a lot of win conditions. Also, I think a nice benefit of Sombra, like part of why I want to play a lot of Sombra in this 6-stack, is Ryan Sombra as a combo is like an I win button. You can win many, many, many games. One thing that was sort of picked up on here, which is that Iron, he plays off tank, but he doesn't play Zarya, and we're sort of nudging him to like, no, just now is the time to learn Zarya, right? Like, if people want to play in the 6-stack and they want to play to get good and want to play to improve, like, I'm pushing Ryan towards this as well, which might be slightly bullying, but like, if you want to learn to play a role like main tank or support, depending on what you're doing, or off tank, where you have like a very limited hero pool, like off tank. Okay, off tank. Off tank is like Zarya, Diva, and Hog. And I don't think it's too much to ask where you need to know how to play all 3 of these. to some degree. Like, if you are an off-tank player, especially in a 6-stack team, playing all 3 of these should be kind of the goal. And I don't think that's kind of an unfair expectation. Just because, like, you're going to be better on one and you might gravitate towards one, but it's just, like, being comfortable playing all 3 of these is going to be an important thing. And I think, like, one of the hard parts is, again, Iron is not a super experienced player. Zarya is very intimidating to play because Graviton Surge is very easy to frig up. It's very easy to mess it up. So, yeah. Like, I can get why that would be kind of nerve-wracking, but, yeah.
Órale, a darle con todo.
So I think the plan here was, I think I even called out, like, yeah, I noticed that the Winston loves face planting into the team. So we're just going to let him face plant and I'll just hack him and we kill him. I think Miska again is calling out, like, there's a trap here. Guys, there's a trap here. Seems there's a bit of some cross wires happening as well. What the fuck is going on here? Poor Miska. Poor Miska. There seems to be a lot of cross wires happening at this second. I think Miska was expecting to just go straight to point, and that doesn't manifest.
30 seconds.
Damn it. A little help would be appreciated.
Meanwhile, we've got this happening. Yeah, I think caught them by surprise more than anything. Good job, Duba. Where is Duba? Nice! Good job, Duba. Kind of where he should be. He's a bit too far to the right for my liking, but... like, just to, like, you know, nitpick, but hey, let's nitpick. Duba's a big boy, he can take it. The issue with being, like, all the way out here, and I've talked about this many, many times in the past, is, especially as a hero like McCree, you are completely reliant on cover for survival. Like, survivability is contingent to your ability to find cover and stay safe in cover. So, like, being all the way out here, yes, you have a great sightline down here, but they have a great sightline on you in retaliation, and that could just be very dangerous. So, playing just here, you still have, like, a good sightline on all of this space, but you can also just hide behind the wall. You can come in here as well, and then you can have healers just to heal you. It's pretty easy to deal with. Let's focus on Duba for a little bit. At this point, I think I even like say, like, somebody stay on the payload. They have a Symmetra. That's so tilting. That's so triggering. I should have just recalled out, like, the moment I went low. Like, I talked about this in Probing the Many yesterday quite a lot, which is just, like, play safe on Sombra. Don't get greedy, and I didn't follow my own advice. It should be fine, because I don't think they can engage on us. I think this is greedy out of Miska, just being this far forward when they are playing a Sombra. Just because if he does get hacked right now, he's kind of gonna die. Okay, Duba's going back to the team, which is good. He should stay with the team, especially while I'm dead. I swap to the Reaper. Because again, same kind of pattern as before. Are you setting up for a Deadeye here? I'm clearing out the turrets. Duba should be helping with that. That's Ryan's fault. Just to instantly cast blame. I think at this point it really should have been like calling, like, I don't know, Drip stay on point. Yeah, there's kind of an issue here with, like, Ryan's on the point and feels he needs to be on the point. Someone else needs to stay on the point, and, like, this is for Ryan to kind of know as well. That he's playing Lucio against the Sombra, so he needs to be very cognizant of the Sombra's EMP. And therefore at this point should be, like, back here, like, hiding behind this wall. So he can come out sound barrier and maybe save some people. Also, Duba needs to help clear those turrets. Okay, we survive. The moment you come out of that fade, Coalescence. I remember like calling for it, I think. Okay, good. So what you, like, as a support player, what you're thinking at this precise moment is, oh my god, we gotta stabilize, right? That should be the thought. The thought isn't, oh, let's kill them. It's stabilize, 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 stabilize. How do I stabilize? The moment this ult is available, the moment you can ult, you ult to try and keep people alive. I want to see why we faded. I think you could have just ignored the fade there and just gone for the ult straight away. Shouldn't Ryan be holding Q? Yes, Ryan should also be queuing. Same logic applies. Like, why are we holding on to it? And like the thing is this, as a support you've got to realize that like the situation is going, if you think of it as like a scale, or yeah, a scale is sort of the best analogy I can come up with. Or it, you know, poker is another analogy I could use, and it's kind of the one I want to use, but a scale is fine. At the start of a fight, any given fight, scale is balanced, right? No one's done anything, no one's invested anything, no one's put anything into the scales, it's completely balanced. The enemy team engages and they invest 1-2 ults very quickly. They're going to invest even more very quickly as well. So suddenly the scale's tipping towards them. And what you got to realize is that unless something dramatic happens, that's going to stay true. It's going to stay tipped towards them. They invest even more, tip towards them. The only time that the scale is going to start tipping back, and especially after our team takes some deaths, is like, this situation is never going to get better. So this is when you use ults, and especially if it is like a Moira-Lucio combo. If it's Zen-Lucio, then you want to be a bit more intelligent. You need to plan out who's going to ult first, or who's going to do what first. But if it's Moira-Lucio, you can actually crank out both ults at the same time, without really worrying too much about it. I think we still lose regardless. Like, I think we needed the Lucio to hide at that moment, but... I think we also needed Miska to swap back to Reinhardt. Like, use the spawn door next to the point.
Score 4-3. Switching sides.
It's nice to stack support ults. I'd say Moira Lucio is fine. Like, it's not optimal, don't get me wrong, but like there's no other fight going to happen, and that fight's only going to get worse. Brace yourself for confusion. My Pharah is mixed, it's not great, but Ryan seems very set on playing Mercy, so I'm like, okay, fine. I'll play Pharah then. It's good for enabling that. Otherwise, relatively similar layout to before. The difference here is that I can contest a lot more space than I could before. I can kind of easily contest this area, and I can help contest this area without like the Hanzo problem of being stuck in here. Let's see how that goes. It's not great.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
So I think I just, yeah, I got range forward. They have a Soldier 76, first thing that occurs to me, okay. So I start playing back, but like already I'm going to criticize myself. I'm going to criticize myself sort of far harsher than anyone. This is a stupid position for me to be in. I've sort of talked about this in the past. I think I just need to be here. Like, I don't actually need to be this far out. I can just back up to here and play here. I think my thought was to get like over here and play from this side. This is just kind of unnecessary. And like, yeah, I'm drifting back towards the middle. Like, I don't want to be here. Winston jumps in, and this is where I call for everyone to just turn and kill the Winston, which actually ends up happening. Which is good. And at this moment, I just need to conk blast and get out. Like, this is the moment. Lucio with the Symmetra barrier there was not ideal. Yeah, but the Symmetra barrier is not going to go away, Obnaxis. Like, by the time the Symmetra barrier is gone, everyone's dead. When do you use it otherwise? You got to use it. And I just needed to get out at this point, because what's going to happen to me is really fucking embarrassing. So what happened to Dribs? How did Dribs end up in this position? I remember we talked about this a little bit. Yeah, so the Winston's there. This time you don't run, like the first time. Like, notice how safe this is. The only issue there is, again, you've sort of left the barrier a little bit. I think Miskis put it a little bit too far forward, perhaps, but just make sure you're always tucked in. Like, the moment you peek out, and I talked about this in one of the other Coaching the Menys, was... I think it's the one called, like, you know, if you peek, you're dead, which to me is, like, support 101. Because you can see, like, the moment you've poked your nose out, look how everyone's aiming at you. You've got to be so cognizant of this barrier and staying with this barrier, and it's actually safer when you're in this position to be here than it is to be here quite often. You can actually do quite a lot from here, and it can line of sight quite a lot as well. And then, if you need to, you can actually drop down this way, which can be a little bit safer at times, but yeah, you're left with a lot more options. When you push back into here, you can't heal anything, and you're also just kind of stuck. But I would say the barrier is perhaps just a smidge too far forward. Because yeah, you've panicked at this point. Which you've kind of needed to do.
Go. I'll keep you healed.
I, for some reason, move forward, which should not happen. I should be moving back and trying to survive, but that's just me being bad. And it's not over yet. Like, Ryan gets annihilated by the Junkrat, but it's just a Sombra taking the point. This is still a really strong core. And this is where that experience thing comes from. I think Iron's still alive as well. I think it's just over here. Yeah, Iron's still alive. He can contest the point. And sort of try and contest Sombra. Throw a cheeky hook. She just get to the point. And he should just play the point here. Right? He shouldn't actually even be leaving the point here. He should just be playing on the point. Because this core of 4 people, and this is where instinct and this is where knowledge and like stabilizing all comes into it. The mindset right now should be, we need to survive until the other 2 people can get back, until the pharmacy gets back, because then we can do things. Then we can actually start making things happen. Until then, we have this very static comp, and we have someone who can run interference on the point and who's kind of durable. So, like, the power here is the fact that we have an Ana who can just pump healing into our Roadhog, who can just stand here, or he can stand over here a little bit, or he can come back here and hide behind the payload. And then you just have McCree free-firing at everything that needs to be fired at. And they can't actually do anything at this moment. Unless we feed. And Doob is just fed. This, like, we pointed this out to him, he's aware of it now, but it's like, there is no need to actually do this and panic. And he goes down, tries to flash the Sombra. And the issue with doing this is, well, now he's just completely vulnerable. Now he's going to die. Now Iron's split off as well, and Iron can't be healed, and everyone's kind of moved away from the Ana and the safety net that the Ana provides. Right? This space was safe. Now it's no longer safe because Ana's sort of confused. Dribs doesn't know what he's doing. Duba's run off and tried to chase people down. Iron's backed away from everyone. Like, this is one of the safest points on this map right now. Behind this thing. If he crouches behind this, it's fine. Shit. Tuck in. Do not be afraid to tuck in. Like, we're back here healing this because it feels like you're afraid of this gap. You want to be here? You don't need to be here. You can be here. You'll hear it when the Orisa's damaged. Like, this is actually one of probably the biggest words of advice I can give to anyone playing support ever. Learn to heal. Learn to hear the pain sounds of other heroes, especially tanks. Because you'll hear Orisa, she kind of goes, ah! Very, very audibly when she takes some damage. You hear that, you check, you look back, you can heal people on the ground. You want to be master of this domain. Like, you could probably actually keep Duber alive here even now. Like, if you were here consistently and you were just pumping healing into him as he does something kind of silly, you just need to be aware of the fact that, like, this is safe. This is an Orisa with, what, 400 hit points here? Plus 800. I think you'll oftentimes find that adds up to 1,200 hit points. She ain't dying. She's fine. She's okay. This guy who's gone madly off on his own, he needs you. He needs you badly. But it's fine. I'm on my way to carry. I'm on my way to kill everybody. Where the fuck is Ryan? Oh, Ryan's trying to res Iron. Oh, I'm dead. It's not going well. This was so tilting. This was so tilting.
Stop the payload.
Well, that was just me being greedy as well. I thought we were going to try and contest the corner a little bit, but no. Everyone else sort of backs away. Oh. Like, the reason why I thought this was safe was generally what's going to happen at these moments when, you know, they haven't fully capped the point. I see Dribs is behind me. It's like, okay, well, we can just, like, poke this a little bit. And Dribs fucks off. I'm left on my own.
Stop the payload.
She dies at least. Small consolation.
That's not right.
Do you switch to Tracer now? Let's find out.
60 seconds remaining.
I didn't Miska respawn. Miska's with the team. Like, look how strong that was. Look how strong Miska is right there. Right? Look at this core. Where's Duba? High ground. There's no need to be high ground. High ground is only bad. Like, I know this Junkrat's up here doing like wacky shit. Like, look at this clown. Look at this literal fucking clown. There's no need to be up here. There's no need to be up here. You can stand up there and fire grenades. Do you know what you do? You fire a cheeky halt and then you hook him and then he dies. Or you just shoot at him and look. Oh. And no, I didn't swap. And this is why I want, like, I talk about instinct a lot and talk about like what people's instincts dictate them to do. Because I think if you don't play a huge amount of Overwatch, your instincts will tell you that like these kind of what I would call like deathmatchy maneuvers, where you're looking for interesting angles, you're looking for good angles, you're looking for like clever places to be. It doesn't translate into Overwatch very well. Where, okay, you just, like, one of the most powerful things you can do quite often is just play with the team. Is just stick with the team. And that gives you a huge amount of extra strength. I'm going to be cheeky, because there are some other VODs that I want to do. I haven't checked them, but I imagine they're good. And I want to look at a different game that we played. Like, these are all 6-stat games. Which one do I want to look at? Do we want to see one where we won? Or one where we lost really embarrassingly? I think I know which one you guys will want to see.
Welcome to Oasis.
There was a lot of confusion about what happened on this map. How late did you play these? At like 2? Well, for me it was like midnight. So there was a lot of discussion about like who plays what, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna play Dive, so I'm like, okay, so I'll play Tracer. Like I was tempted to play Sombra, but I enjoy Tracer a lot, so let's play Tracer.
5, 4, 3,
First things first, I think we get completely confused leaving the spawn.
round 1. Capture the objective.
When you are playing a team comp like this one, especially when you have a Lucio, especially with the Soldier, the majority of the team, the overwhelming majority of the team, should go take high ground. Me on Tracer, an intellectual, will actually be going straight this way. We'll be going across the, well, we'll be trying to go across the point in anticipation that they might not have a Lucio, and they might be packing in this way. That way I can get in from behind them and actually do some damage. Let's see what happens. Okay, no, they go that way. They mostly go that way. Somehow Dribs is behind the team. On Lucio. I don't know how he's managed this. And yeah, I think like Ryan panics immediately, like, oh, I'm taking damage. It's a Tracer. expect it to take damage. Don't worry about it. And this is where I think I turned around. It's like, why are people running fucking towards me? Why are people running towards me? Take the high ground. Take the high ground.
Routing power to forward shield.
It's Tracer. She's fine. I think there was some cross wires here because I'm like, we're still figuring out what they have. So I'm like, oh, they've got Nana. And Miska just fucking goes for it. So I'm like, okay, we're in then. Oh, fuck, I'm out.
Deja vu.
Little bit overeager. On the bright side, oh no, he's down here with us. I thought he was on the high ground. Not going great. They don't have a main tank. They get very eager. I think I remember Miska literally like, oh my god, help!
Let's go back to the end. Here's nailed it. Smashing.
Nice. Or smashing. Miska did something very good here, which is he was basically like, don't get eager, you're still 5-on-5. He sort of just reminded everyone, yeah, guys, I'm dead. I'm not there. I'm in spawn. But this is like the sort of thing that I mean with like Tracer, and this is where like Duba should probably learn to play Tracer because he's got a really Tracer-ish movement pattern. He should just be here, pushing in with the team. I'm the one who should be over here, pushing in from behind, because like the strongest position you can always have with a Tracer is sort of the hammer and anvil, right? Where this is the anvil, and Tracer's the hammer. And she wants to swing down, and you sort of engage, and the Tracer comes in from behind, and you smash someone from behind. So I don't know why Dude was running off this way. Gets a great flank on, but it's a spicy rocket.
Got you in my sights.
I think this was just a little bit rushed, just this ultimate. Because I think I call for an engage after we push the Tracer out.
Bombs away.
And like we're kind of in a good place to engage. Like they're really overextended. That's a cracker of a rocket.
I've got you in my
The only thing with this ult is the thing with Soldier ult is you can activate it in combat pretty easily. Like it takes about a second to activate, or maybe 2 seconds ish. When they have a diva, what I like to do personally when we're shooting when you're playing Soldier is just shoot the diva for like a couple of seconds, force her to matrix it for a little bit, and then you visor when she's like used up half of it, because the moment she presses right click, like half of it depletes, and then you can get a lot more value out of it. I think she's depleted most of it anyway. This goes back. Swear I'm like, oh fuck, Bob! Sound barrier might be excessive here, but it'll keep us alive against Bob at least. I think this is where Mystic Will's like, well, Hog! Where is? And I'm like, where is he? He's in the room! Yeah, I think this is largely when we need to relax. Just take it chill. Like, let them make mistakes like that one. I'm so heartbroken that didn't work. Miska can play aggressively there. Just a demonstration. Like, I remember we almost had this discussion in game when the team wanted to play Zen Mercy. Let me demonstrate to you why you don't want to play Zen Mercy. Let me demonstrate it one easy way. I'll put the camera on this diva. Because someone's, because I said, oh, we don't have much healing. And it's like, oh, we got Mercy. Behold, Mercy's healing.
Time to raise my DPS.
Every time Defense Matrix was down, her health bar just went boom, gone. Mercy does not heal much. People need to get it out of their heads that Mercy's somehow like this incredible healer. She ain't. She gets badly out DPS by just about everybody. Mercy got problems. Mercy got big problems in terms of how effective she can be. Her power is in res, not in heals. And you always got to kind of remember that.
Bailing out.
very minor thing. Come on, don't miss the wall with the orb. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Bounce it. Bounce it. Simple trigonometry, guys. It's time for some maths. Oh boy, maths. Everyone's favorite. Name, like, you have a Winston here. Okay, and he's healed in a radius of, let's just take this dome. Okay? And you have a choice. You can either send the orb so the line is like this, or you can send the orb so the line is like this. This is line A, this is line B. Which line is longer and more effective for healing? I'm waiting for answers, chat. Line A, Kappa. Failed. C. Phenomenal, Twitch chat. Just incredible. Good work, Twitch chat. Kid Brisket, boom! Gold star and a medal. Someone gift that man a sub, even though he already has one. Yeah, it's line B. Just always B. Like, if you can bounce it, because it will stay near people longer. Even if it is kind of an odd angle, even if it will just do this, it's still in, like, pretend that the Winston is stood here, it's still in the heal radius longer than if it just goes like this. And it's also, what it means as well is if you, like, ideally you'd actually bounce it this way, because then if the Winston wants to move this way, he can just follow the ball, and people will follow the ball, especially as they get better and better and better. Like, the Miska is definitely good enough to know that, oh, if there's a heal orb that he can just sort of follow in and he's low on hit points, he will just follow the heal orb in and it will top him off. Instead of, if he wants that heal orb, he has to, like, chase it this way, so Iron now has to give out some of his valuable yellow refreshing mist to heal this all up. I fucked up. I think once I'm out of blinks here, like, I think I realize even at this moment, yeah, I'm out of blinks, I'm gonna die. I think I even tell the team, like, I'm down, it's fine, just back up a little bit. You're okay. I think I even say, like, play around soldier, and, like, that should be the mentality when that stuff like that happens. If I go down and I'm playing Tracer, and we have the soldier on the high ground, like, everyone should just be playing to protect the soldier. He's almost got Visor. He will be what's going to carry you through this next fight. Until I get back, and then I can carry again. And you can see, like, Miska's kind of realized it, and this is where this kind of knowledge is important. Like, Dribs needs to be getting up here as fast as he can. Iron needed to be getting up there as fast as he can. Iron especially. Dribs can kind of just, like, hop up here, if you're feeling fancy. It's definitely doable. Or you can, like, use this wall and get up here. The Iron should be, like, straight away. Because the thought of, like, a support is, well, what do I need to actually support at this precise moment? And the answer is this guy. He needs it more than anything. It's looking dicey. It's looking dicey, but hey. Guess what? Me and Miska as a dive is actually pretty good at times. Coalescence is nice. Cuts through everything. All I'm doing here, by the way, and, like, maybe this is wrong, I actually want to check this. All I'm doing, again, is that hammer and anvil principle. Which is that I see that there's kind of an engagement coming from, like, this side. I thought Miska came in from this side. So I'm going around this side. And notice that straight away, like, the Ashe can't deal with it. And I think Miska's calling for mercy, and I think I realized very quickly that she's in the middle. But there's just, like, a free Ashe, so I just go for that. Lol. I don't know why it always looks like Tracer's in spawn. I don't think Duba needed to drop there. It's kind of an awkward position, but I think he can still play from this high ground. Always the best solution, just fucking kill it. I like the care, actually, that he's doing while he regenerates. Heals, heals, heals. And I think at this point he can just move to the opposite side. Take a look at that coalescence. Okay, just put it on coalescence. I think Miska's pointed this out, but I will point this out as well. I think it's 140 health per second and 70 damage per second. Always, 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 always prioritize the healing. It's a lot of healing. It will keep people alive through quite a lot. It's no transcendence, but it's a lot. It's pretty good.
This was the expected conclusion.
What I generally find with coalescences is you can put the coalescence out, heal someone a bit, and then as you've sort of topped everybody off and no one's sort of super low, then you can start moving around and getting a bit more damage. Very minor thing here, but sort of want to illustrate the concept of sight lines and like abusing and using line of sight against Roadhog. I feel pretty safe taking this fight around this corner. Why do I feel safe? Well, I know that if he throws a hook, it's going to take a little while to travel, and I can honestly just step. And as long as I can play with like this as almost like a fulcrum, like if you put this as like a point and you draw a line between me and him, as long as I continually rotate around that point, so if he moves here, I would be like here, right? Like if I rotate around this, I am always going to be safe. And you can kind of see it demonstrated. Except he... Oh no, that's Iron's Moira thing. I thought he hooked Iron. I feel perfectly safe doing that. And now that I know that he's used his hook, I can go in and really bully him. I think, yeah, I heard them valking, so I thought they were engaging, so I sort of ran towards that a little bit, but no, they're not doing anything. Random diva spam. That's their team. Sound barrier was fine there, honestly. I think Dribs even after was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have sound barriered there." No, it's fine. Last fight.
I've got you in my sights.
Like you could honestly have been fine doing it like now. The moment where this fight could have turned. Also, this UI is broken. The moment where this fight could have turned, like with Bob doing stuff. You can just sound barrier the moment they start engaging because it's the last fight if we win it and we have an advantage. So again, think of the scales. I've drawn a completely different looking set of scales. This one's way smaller for no good reason. Think of the scales. They've invested in the scales, but we're still winning. Because it's the last fight, you just want to like tilt it as far as possible. So you just invest. And like the only way they can get back is if Bob comes up huge, for example. I know Bob might be able to do that. Like, when you are not playing with a Zenyatta, I'll say this much. When you aren't playing like Zen Lucio, which is going to be rare anyway, if they start committing offensive ultimates and they don't have Dragon Blade or Graviton Surge, like they in that round, you can just use the ults when they use ults. Is it bad I only saw the hanging heads of gnomes and not scales there? That is pretty bad. You know, you reminded me of the gnome riddle. It's one of my favourite riddles. Maybe we'll do it after this, coaching the many. Oh, it's gone too far.
4, 3,
Okay,
1.
same team comp as before. Same idea as before.
Capture.
I think Misko had like a little bit of doubts about this, but hey. Same principle for me, hammer and anvil, right? Team goes one way, I go the other. I think I start calling out very early, like, oh, they got a Genji, they got this, they got that. Like, I'm safe. Like, that's the thing that's important here. Sounds very egotistical. Yes, as long as I'm okay, everything's fine. I'm safe. I have my blinks, I have my recall. The only way that I die here is if, like, Genji gets right into my face, right-clicks, and one-shots me. Very unlikely to happen. So, like, I'm completely safe to do this. Rest of the team, fairly safe as well, as long as they're staying together. Duba's a little bit far back. I'd like to see him sort of... Like, this is where I'd like to see, for example, Miska just take this corner. If they want to try and push like this. And then Duba can just play from... Like, you drop a bubble there, and Duba can just play from back here and shoot through. And not have to worry about getting sniped by the Hanzo. The only scary part here is the Hanzo can just, you know, fire an arrow and kill someone. Hey. Moira Orb. They don't have a Diva. Moira Orbs are going to do great. There's the Hanzo effect. Let's watch. I want to see this god tier Hanzo.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
Okay. Okay. No. I mean, it did kind of go through Moira's chest. So look at that face. Look at terrifying. Man, I want to get the facial expression. I want to get the face. It's actually like it's actually missed. Wow, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, you don't want to be in the center. But I think this is honestly like more on Miska. Where Miska didn't need to do this jump up here. He could have just stayed and like taken this corner. Because without any kind of protection on this corner, this is going to happen. Like at that point, you have to play from like here or like back here with the wall. You can't just play in the middle of this space and expect to get away with it. The enemy team's just looking at it going, oh look, there's some free kills. Lol. Miska does retaliate, which is nice. How the frig does Miska get that kill? Oh, Duba's come back. That's how. What? Oh, Miska's found something. So yeah, he retaliates, which is nice. Critical hit. See what Duba's up to. It's actually fine. I wish you'd go and heal Ryan. One of the things you can do as Soldier is if Ryan is like scared and playing here, you can just go take this corner of Soldier, drop a heal field and move back if necessary. Gives ult charge, worth doing. I think I watch me majestically outplay this Genji. So look at this feeder. Lol. We just bully the brig from mid-range. Nice. Recall the dash. He guns for the health pack. I get on top of it. Easy. Lovely. Get wrecked, nerd. They have a Sombra now. That was a realization and a half. Good job by Ryan, I think, he was playing on the D.Va to actually get me out of this. Like, that's very nice. What's Duba up to? Maybe a little bit far back for my liking, but still relatively safe. I'd like to see a reload here. If you're gonna go evasive and just play safe, just use that time to reload. Nice, very nice. This is a moment where we can be pushing, like, the Soldier can be pushing forward a little bit. It's good to see that we're doing that. Good, 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 good. Not this far forward. If there's a brig, give us some space, give us some respect. Now the team's there. Okay, can go forward. Some good shooting.
I'm on fire. All evidence supports this.
Miska's having a good time. So now that they've gone like Brig, Sombra, I'm like, well, Tracer's not going to work. What will work against this team comp? My conclusion is Torbjorn will actually do pretty well. Let me run you through the logic. Armor does pretty well against Genji, pretty much against Sombra as well. The turret's going to be really annoying for the Genji and the Sombra. Both of them are going to find that annoying. I'm going to be relatively tanky. It's going to be hard for Hanzo to kill me, or at least a little bit harder for Hanzo to kill me, especially once the cooldown's popped. And we just have to kind of hold the choke now. We don't have to take anything, so we are defending. Torb seems logical to me. Am I crazy with that? Am I nuts with that? Is that an insane thing to do? Just looking for an excuse to play Torb without throwing? Down straight. I mean, it works. Even a cheeky aggressive turret. Outplayed, Hanzo. And then something stupid happens. And like we talked about this game quite a lot, but I think the moment that we lose it is actually here. They have 6 ults. They haven't used anything. They haven't had a chance to use anything. They've been spawn camped. But Miska goes for this super aggressive sort of movement here. He's kind of safe doing it. Like, it's not the safest thing in the world. And then, like, there's this commitment here. This is taking the piss. Kind of works out. It's like, oh, we got this one. And then they start using ults. And Hanzo exists. And everyone's so far forward, and they're committing all these ults. We can't do shit about it. I try and get into the hole out of desperation. And the thing is, I think we could have won that fight if we had it positioned intelligently. Hey, Boyga! My boy, thank you so much.
OMG, time goes by.
Very much appreciated. I think we could actually win this fight. Like, if we played around the soldier intelligently. Like, if the soldier wasn't this far forward. And we just fell back, we just, like, we can hold those 2 doorways. Give ground, give ground, give ground. Make them use ults to take that ground. And then, at the back, we just have soldier activate his ult. Kills Dragonblade dead. The Dragonblade isn't even that good. Spends half of it chasing Dribs around. It's like, okay, now we gotta push. People changing up. Ryan Zarya. Okay. Iron takes a shitload of damage from Hanzo. Don't peek when there's a Hanzo and you don't have a tank. I'm not a big fan of actually Miska doing this. Just as like a minor thing. Which is just taking a charge and like going all the way to here. It's just, it is unsafe once the Hanzo is like shooting from this angle. We have to like try and lay down covering fire, but the Hanzo is always going to get better picks. Like, he's always going to do better damage. You just need to walk this length here. And it'll be safer. My job with these turrets is just to put them in really annoying places. And I'm taking a shitload of damage. Everyone's caught in the EMP. They use Dragon. Okay. Just lose the fight. Oh god, the beeping's not gonna stop, is it? The beeping's not gonna stop! It's not gonna go away! I stick on Torb here. I have Molten Core. I don't think that's a good enough justification. I don't think Molten Core is going to be very useful here. I think I should have swapped. So Miska gets hacked and engages. This Hanzo just sort of freely kills the supports. I'm actually going to check. I want to look at this from above. Right, so like this is a better rollout, you know?
Show them what you can do.
And I think at this point, this is kind of the problem, and like I'm part of the problem here, which is the Sombra. We turn and deal with the Sombra, and like everyone turns and gets rid of the Sombra. That's not too bad. But I think we did just need to like follow Miska in here, and like everyone just needs to stick with him. Instead, like, I get distracted with, like, shooting at this shit. Dribs is distracted with shooting at this shit. Now Miska's off on his own into the enemy team. I put hot goo everywhere. 3 ults get used on the enemy team. It's still winnable. I was already considering swapping off the Torb, so I opt to. Yeah, and this is like a regroupy thing. In general, the way I tend to think about it is like, when I'm regrouping on this map, you'll often find I stand here. And I generally will try to avoid doing what I'm doing at the moment, which is like this trade back and forth. Just because this is a lot safer, like down here. But it's still near the choke point, so you still get like that little bit of extra ground. The worst thing to do is kind of what I'm doing now, what Duba's doing now, which is trying to challenge this, because if we die, then it's just all over.
My ultimate ability is charged.
Again, very aggressive flanking. Heal, heal, heal. Okay. Now let's look at the rest of the team.
Routing power to forward barrier.
We can kill that. No support ults. No McCree. No hope.
Routing power to
We throw a game. But it's fine, there's another round. We can bring it back.
Score 1-1.
backing the fight. See you later.
Josh isn't the kind of person to spend all of his time on Newgrounds forums. He still knows better. I don't know better. If anything, I know worse.
1.
So yeah, I've gone for the Hanzo. Brace yourselves. Strap yourselves in, lads. Like, I'd say this starts about where it needs to start. Like, this looks correct. We have a main tank, they don't. I think I even call, hey, Mercy's super low. This is looking good. And then Hanzo kills 2 people. How? How?
See through the dragon's
Jesus. I think we just get a little bit too overeager.
The objective is now
Like, I think once Miska's cooldowns are gone, once Pagchomp here is sort of out of cooldowns, out of options, once this engage is done, I think we just need to, like... I think we scoop up a kill here. Yeah, he gets the kill so that he gets hacked. And I think at this point we just need to play way more defensive. Like, I should not be this far forward. On the Hanzo especially. I think the reason why I think I went forward there is just, oh, I don't feel like I can confirm the kill on the Mercy without being that close on Hanzo. Which is something on me.
the objective is double.
Still very winnable. Team needs to play around Duber at this point. Take your time, lad. Again, that's... I remember tilting like crazy at this moment. This is, again, one of those moments where you just got to kind of realize how things shift as the fight progresses. Once one DPS is dead, everything kind of needs to filter into the next DPS. Like, everything has to be sort of committed to making sure that that guy is safe and fine. So, like, Dribs is split off from Duba here, trying to chase down a Sombra. Gets her, but oh no. I hate this hero. I hate this hero. I hate this hero. Just needed to back out there. You either back out or you die on point. You make a choice. I think going for the Sombra is not a bad idea. I'm trying to clear her off point. It's just that you and Duba need to be working together to do that. It's just sort of realizing that Duba wants to do... Like, you need Duba to do things, so as a support, your job is to enable him to do the things that you can do. If that makes sense. This I didn't entirely understand. I don't know why we're doing this rotation. You can even see I'm kind of confused by it. That's why I end up jumping sort of that way. They use rally for some reason. And I think I just eat a headshot. Lol. I don't know why Miska jumped into that. I suspect tilt.
That's not right.
Oh, what's this? What's this? Secret Agent Duba. So yeah, he's calling out, you know, yeah, I can get behind him, which, okay, like, we have a plan. We're going to try and bait them into a fight, and then Duba's going to come up behind them in high noon. Also, just worth mentioning. I think Iron gets picked off in a second. Maybe jump too far forward. Yeah, okay, jump too far forward. Like, this isn't a safe place to be. Like, notice where the 3 people who play this game a lot stand. Right? This is safe. This is not. Be there. Yeah. I think if we're doing this, and like, I was tempted to speak up about it when we sort of decided to push in this way. Just like, if we're trying to coax them to where McCree can get this sort of flanking ult, first and foremost, McCree should not be on the low ground. Like, he should take his time and honestly, like, go through here if he can. And I think we should have just engaged normally so that he could try and set up here, or even if he is down here, then he can just sort of step out and get it done. I'm not I don't know. I don't like this angle for what we're trying to do. It just feels too close to him. Let's see how it goes. Oh, wait. I forgot, I keep pressing P. On the bright side, it does clump everybody to go and chase him. So I get one hell of a fucking Dragon Strike. This is where we're all just kill him. Please. Just kill him. Just kill him. Iron. Just kill him. What's Iron doing? Okay, this should be going towards... Again, if we determined previously that the play is this coalescence should be enabling the play. Unfortunately, Duma makes the mistake of, you know, running the fuck away. I somehow got a kill with Coalescence playing Hanzo. Just a demonstration of how bullshit that hero is.
Bailing out.
We're all soldiers now.
And that's how you throw a game. Spoiler, I think the rest of this is just all staggered as hell. Like, please help me, help me! Help me with the Genji! Well. No, it's fine, I carry it. No, I don't. No, I don't. Should they make a hero that uses other players' ults for an opponent? No, because then you could, like you think like a rubric sort of deal, where you can, like, capture ults. What happens if you have a Sombra and that person captures EMP? And your team now has 2 EMPs. Does that sound fun? Does that sound good? Enjoyable content? Unless you mean you can actually, like, steal ult charge, in which case that's just not fun. Okay, we got another one. I'm gonna go to the intermission screen. I'm gonna load up another coaching menu. This time it's not my own. Way, someone else's. I'm trying to hide, like not looking at the SR. It's someone's placements, but I think they mentioned their SR in the email. So I'm like.